Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at the top 10 Pokemon that got buffed for the new upcoming Great League season. There are going to be more videos like this coming up on the channel as well for different kind of types like most secret buffs, like best secret buffs there. We're going to have also the secret nerfs of the season coming up. There's going to be a lot of content towards the new season still coming here before the season starts. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. Would really appreciate it. Leave a like if you want to see more content like this as well. And we can start off right with the first Pokemon here, which is going to be Criti. Criti is going to get a buff with the fast move of Acid. Currently, PewPoke predicts Acid to be a Shadow Claw clone, which is quite a big jump from what it is currently. But this would be the only way where Acid would make sense. So this is also why Criti is at the number 10 spot, because I didn't really want to give it more play here, as this Pokemon is kind of not sure yet on where it's going to end up basically, and that is why Criti is at the number 10 spot here. With Acid it's going to climb up 16 ranks in the Go Battle League for the Great League, but then again, if we take a look at the matchups, it actually looks like a little bit worse. I think it's going to be better, especially in the two-shield scenario, because you're going to have more fast move pressure, even though it's a non-stab move. But also another benefit of Acid is that you're going to have better coverage against the mirror matchup. The meta itself is going to change quite a bit. I'm not too sure if it's going to be a Criti meta or not. There are a lot of bug-type Pokemon, which is great for the rock typing, but also kind of bad for the grass typing, so it depends. We have to see here. For example, against Samurro here, it seems like we're going to have a very bad matchup, which is kind of interesting because it's a water type. But yeah, we're going to have here Acid, Rock Tomb, and Grassland is our moveset here. We still have to see on how Acid is going to get like the energy over there. We don't know the exact set for it, and so we're going to move on now to team number 9. Team number 9, Pokemon number 9, Bellibolt. We don't have teams here today. We're going to have teams though for the Great League coming up as well eventually on this channel before the Great League actually starts, so definitely stay tuned for that. Anyway, Bellibolt. Bellibolt, interesting Pokemon. Getting a ginormous buff here. Honestly, Parabolic Charge is maybe too good to be true. This move is going to make the Pokemon that have them, which is only 3 Pokemon currently, yeah, may completely be meta. Like literally the move itself is just so overpowered that it just makes the meta straight away. I think it's 75 damage or something like this for 45 energy, which doesn't seem like crazy, but it has a guaranteed yeah, boost of your own defense. So you can bulk yourself up very, very fast, very, very strong there, and very consistent. And Bellibolt is not the best user for Parabolic Charge, but it's one of the strongest users here with great stats itself. But also, as you're gonna see here as well, it's just going to be great against the current meta, and with the fast move of Sucker Punch, which is a non-stab move, but it gives you at least a little bit of coverage. It's going to be such a strong meta breaker in the current meta, especially as there are a lot of ghost types, which I assume are going to be more common next season as well. Why are ghost types more common? Because bug type damage is resisted by ghost. This Pokemon is going to have a lot of play, and so I think Bellibolt is going to be a very strong Pokemon to use. Moving on, we have Samurro. Samurro is one of the biggest buffs this season, getting from rank 155 all the way up to rank 9. That is a ginormous buff, making it top meta, top for the Great League. And with a legacy move of Hydro Cannon, it's going to be very cool, but Furcutter, of course, itself is a very, very strong fast move, giving you especially a 1-turn fast move, which gives you a lot of versatility because you can swap out whenever you want, but also you do a lot of damage because 1-turn fast moves are kind of the best type of fast moves in the game. And yeah, you want to have good coverage against the Pokemon they don't really want to face as a Samurro, like against Grass-type Pokemon. You're going to have Furcutter as well as Megahorn to hit them for super effective damage, which is kind of cool. Do I think it's going to be the most overpowered Pokemon ever? Most likely not, but it's a very, very strong Pokemon, and it's going to be at the number 9 spot for the next season. And I still think it's going to be a very strong Pokemon to run, especially because of the pacing that you have to the Hydro Cannon. You're only going to need like 10 Furcutters, so like 10 turns, in order to get to a Hydro Cannon, which is a great pacing. We're doing a lot of fast move pressure, and this is going to be one of the best water types to look out for the next season that got directly buffed. That was also kind of a spoiler towards another video where we're going to take a look at the hidden buffs, because there's another water type that is absolutely amazing for the new season, which we have to talk about. But yeah, anyway, we're going to have here an electric type, which of course our water types don't really want to face. We're going to have here the Denny. This Pokemon, again, is going to be absolutely amazing. Like, look at this, 34 wins and 13 losses now in the new season. That is ridiculous. Like, what the hell? This Pokemon gets so fast to Parabolic Charge. 5 fast moves, 10 turns to get to a Parabolic Charge and boost their own defense up straight away. Yeah, like this is going to be meta, this is going to be insane, and this would be a cool Pokemon to pair with the Morpeko maybe. Maybe I'm gonna make like a Morpeko Dedenne backline team. I think that would be a really cool backline. But anyway, it's going to be a very, very cool Pokemon here to run. We're going to have Thundershock, Parabolic Charge, Player Off because you get good coverage as well. Having the Fairy typing is going to be kind of handy as well because guess what? It resists the bug typing, and bug types are everywhere, or like in terms of bug type, fast move damage is everywhere. And so I would assume that Dedenne is actually going to be a top tier meta Pokemon, and I said that I think before as well already. I do think that Dedenne is gonna win at least like a regional or like even world championships this season, because this thing looks insane, and this thing looks like a really good Pokemon in the current meta. If you keep away the ground type Pokemon, you're basically good with this Pokemon here. So yeah, very cool Pokemon to run. Same goes for Scizor. This Pokemon actually is going to get a double buff, but you cannot use it at the same time. Both Furcutter, which learns, as well as the Bullet Punch are getting buffed. Bullet Punch is now a really, really strong move, and you're gonna see here 2 times Scizor on the right side. The left version of it is with the buffed Bullet Punch, the right version is with the buffed Exeter, and actually Exeter looks better than Bullet Punch, even the Bullet Punch is suggested here. Really depends on what you want to run though on this Pokemon. I could see that Bullet Punch is still going to be better in the T-Shield scenario because it does do so much more damage. But of course, Excel gives you more utility with the great coverage that you have on this Pokemon as well, with Night Slash as well as Trailblaze. You also still have access to like Iron Head and whatever, but having the guaranteed boost chance with Bullet Punch though I think is really, really cool with the Trailblaze. So yeah, I think this Pokemon is going to have a lot of play. I do think this Pokemon is going to shine especially as a closer. If you're gonna get this Pokemon to a matchup where it can just farm down something, it can sweep entire teams. But yeah, that's definitely a Pokemon you want to build for the upcoming season. Same goes for a Reconet. Yeah, I was talking about Bug Bite in videos already early on this channel and saying that this is the Pokemon that kind of gatekeeps it, together with basically the Fortress, but Fortress wasn't as strong back in the day because Rock Tomb wasn't as strong as it is nowadays. But yeah, a Reconet is going to be one of the Pokemon that really benefits from Bug Bite, and while it doesn't look that great on paper, Two-Shield scenario, this Pokemon is basically unbeatable. There is next to no Pokemon that's going to be really able to destroy this thing here. And as you're going to see on the right side, this is the One-Shield scenario already. We're going to have 29 wins and 18 losses with a 544 average rating, which is absolutely amazing for a Reconet. And this Pokemon is guaranteed a Pokemon you want to have for the next meta. It is overpowered. You want to run a double water moveset as well, because now with the Bug Bite attack boost, basically, you kind of want to have better coverage, which you get with the Water Pulse, which allows you to hit Pokemon like Liga for super effective damage, which is going to be very beneficial for you. And with the Bug Bite damage boost, you're going to be able to still do Bug type damage. So yeah, it is going to be a very strong Pokemon to run, and I would assume we're going to see Golisopod and Reconet backlines all the time, because those 2 Pokemon together as a backline are really, really cool. But yeah, for Reconet here, you need some good Pokemon to play it with. There are going to be some interesting cores again. I'm mostly going to take a look at the top cores as well still for the season. There's a lot of things I want to cover, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I recommend one of the Pokemon to look out for. Same goes for Matang. Matang is really, really cool. Matang is really got buffed to rank 15. I have no idea why. I have absolutely no idea why. On paper, this Pokemon looks like really bad. I don't know why, but yeah, I don't know how this Pokemon got to rank 15. It just doesn't really make too much sense for me. Like, it literally doesn't really make too much sense. But yeah, could be the case that the calculations are wrong here as well. And this Pokemon is actually amazing. I can't see this Pokemon actually being solid. But again, this is the number 4 spot for today. Let's move on to the next Pokemon. We're going to have Gligar. Gligar is going to be here our next one. We're going to have Gligar as a shadow version, which is going to receive a very big buff with Furcutter. Furcutter doing more damage now is going to help this Pokemon out quite a bit, gaining a ton more wins now because their 110 fast moves are really strong, especially in the T-Shield scenario. This Pokemon is going to shine. You also have the option to go for Night Slash if you want to have better coverage against Pokemon like Jellicent here, but generally speaking, Gligar is going to be back. I think this Pokemon is going to have a lot of play as well because of the typing itself, having a lot of great resistances to it. I think this Pokemon is going to have a lot of play for the upcoming meta. To the number 2 spot of today's video, we're going to have the Lostheart. I'm actually not too sure if it's always going to be the better play to go for the Furcutter, but on paper I guess it is. Furcutter is doing basically the same as Shadow Claw. It generates the same amount of energy and it does the same amount of damage per turn. But of course Furcutter is stab in a one-turn move, which is generally better. And then you end up with a Pokemon that has in the one-shot scenario an average rating of 571, which is ridiculous, and it just does so much damage. And against Pokemon like even Dusclops in the two-shot scenario, even with Furcutter you're going to have a lot of play, because Dusclops doesn't have a great HP stat, which gives Lostheart with Furcutter a lot of play in the two shields. Again, Shadow Claw might be kind of cool if you want to run this Pokemon together with the Reconet in the back, as this would be with Shadow Claw a bit of a safer play as a Scizor. But also, here you're gonna have more play against Diggersby now, which before was a bit more of an awkward matchup, even though you were in the type advantage. Because of Shadow Claw being double resisted, you kinda were struggling sometimes a bit against it. But nowadays, those days are over, and with Furcutter buff, the Lostheart is a Pokemon you want to have, and great thing for it, it's also a very cheap Pokemon to have. And we're gonna take a look at the final Pokemon here for today. Again, they're going to be more tier lists and whatever coming up here for this channel as well. I have actually a lot of lists already written for different kind of things that got improved, so definitely stay tuned for that. But we're gonna take a look at the top Pokemon here, which is Fortress, which is the number 2 spot for the current meta, only behind Clodsire. But it's the number 1 spot for the Open Ultra League, and it's a Pokemon you need to have. It is absolutely a Pokemon you need to have. Look at the stats of this thing. Basically being able to beat nearly everything in the current meta, unless it resists the bug typing and has fire type coverage. And this is the thing as well, while the bug typing itself is a pretty weak type, if you have a bug and steel type, you only have a double weakness to fire, and that's the only weakness you're going to have. But you have also great resistances, for example against grass with this Pokemon, which makes it very difficult to get rid of unless you have the coverage that you need for that. And there are not a lot of Pokemon in the current meta that has fire type coverage, and so yeah, Fortress is going to be the Pokemon to beat, the Pokemon that most people are going to have on that team, and for good reason, as this Pokemon is so strong, especially as a non-Shadow actually. I have a Shadow here on the screen as well, but non-Shadow is even a bit better. Shadow has the benefit of having bug bite damage doing a little bit more, but this is going to be it for this video. Yeah, it is an interesting meta coming up. There are going to be some Pokemon that got quite a significant buff without actually receiving a buff, which we may be going to take a look at next. We have to see about that, but this is going to be it for now. See you then. Bye bye.